All right, and welcome, Walter. We're going to go ahead and jump into the paid options that you can get if you upgrade your Agent 3000. You do not have to be paying for Agent 3000 in order to participate today. So if I have those that just want to see how it works, you're more than welcome to follow along. If you do decide to pay the $20 a month, it's just one payment each month of $20. That's going to get you the website and the customer resource management system. If you're interested, over here in the top right corner of Agent 3000, you're going to see the little phone button. That's going to give you Sean Summers' direct telephone number. That would be the individual to call in order to upgrade to the full version of Agent 3000. Okay, so what we're going to cover first is we're going to go ahead and jump directly into the main dashboard. And I just want to show you, as we do that, a visual reference on the website I've created as well. We're going to need that so we make sense of everything that I show you here. So as soon as you upgrade, you're going to have a little section here in the left that says leads. Leads deals directly with where buyers are going to your website and either viewing properties or registering. Okay. So the very first section under my lead type right here, it's going to say IDX registrations. IDX is a fancy way of saying if they go to your property search portion of your website and then they start looking for listings. Once we build the website, again, I'm going to show you how to build it. You can determine how many times that they can search. You can limit them to maybe just one search. I wish we had properties at 250. We got to go up a little bit. So I'll put in 400 here. And as they continue to search, or if they click on save this search, they're going to be prompted to register. And if they do so on this portion of your website, your property search, they show up here as IDX registrations. If you access and send them a property using the landing page feature, which is the same as if you share a property that you advertise, they register as an IDX listing view. If they follow up and ask you a question, whenever they go into a search in a very specific property, let me make sure I make this make a little bit more sense. If they go directly into a property here, and then you prompt them, and again, I'm going to show you how to set this up. If they register on a landing page for a listing, if as they're searching, they're going to show up as a listing alert lead. All right, perfect. Also, if they go to your contact page, that's the other thing to mention. If they go to your contact page, again, you get all of these pages automatically created for you at no additional cost. Let me just go back. There you go. If they go here, a little about me, or directly to your contact page, and they register, again, they show up as a lead here. And you can click if you want. So for example, if they go to your website, they register, you're going to be able to see their name, their telephone number if they supplied it, email address, when exactly they registered. And this is the cool part. You get to be a little nosy. You can see exactly what they did, what listing they looked at, and what search criteria that they used in order to search, as you can see. All right. Not only do they show up here under the IDX registrations, but they also load into your CRM within Agent 3000 as a contact. Again, we're going to come back here in a little bit. Let's go back to the main page. All right. Also on your website, there's two different ways for them to either request or get an instant home valuation on the website. So right here, if they register under the instant home valuation, this little section right here, they're going to show up as a lead. Or if they request, because again, there's two different buttons, they can get an instant home valuation by simply inputting their information. Or if they register a little bit right here with just some basic information about themselves, again, they will show up in one of these two buttons. So again, home valuation form leads is this button. It is a form, as we can see. And then this one right here, instant home valuations, that's this right here. Okay, we're going to keep going, guys. Now, the next one is landing page leads. Landing page is if you share a landing page that you create or an individual web page that you created from scratch. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, perfect, perfect. So let's go ahead and go back. Again, this is a bird's eye view as how your website is performing and if you do have customers registering on your website. Okay. Anytime a customer website registers, let me bring that back. Sorry. If you have a customer register on your website, you'll get an email notification automatically. And as I said in the very first class under settings, if you want to get a text message, you can set up your telephone number with Twilio, and it's about $2 and some change for each one of those notifications. I like free, so that's the reason why I mentioned if they register on your website, you get an email for free. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. First, what we're going to go ahead and cover is the CRM, the Customer Resource Management System, how to use it, as well as how to import contacts from maybe a different CRM that you offer, and how to export customers. Why am I mentioning importing and exporting? Talk to your broker. The reason why I say that is I've been with the board for 10 years, guys, and I can't tell you how many times, and I say this nicely, when I worked in the MLS department, when I got a call from one of you guys and you used the CRM system that your brokerage offered and you left that brokerage. Sometimes your broker, when you leave, right, they don't give you your contacts that you may have for years were building, right? So the reason why I want you to talk to your broker, each brokerage is a little bit different when it comes to their policy and procedures or their compliance, however they may word it. Some brokers do not allow you to have a separate customer resource management system. If they allow you to have your own CRM, please have one. Why do I say that? I just gave you a reason. You want to always have a backup that mirrors all of your current customers and past customers. I'd hate for you to get locked out of some service that you had and lose them. Okay, so let's go ahead and first cover the section contacts. Okay, so under contacts, as I mentioned, you get a website and you get a CRM built into the platform. So under contacts, as you begin creating your email campaigns, you can automatically set up drip emails for your customers, including putting them into their respective groups. For example, if you're working with someone and you haven't had them sign the listing agreement, we could create a prospect group, right? Buyers group, sellers group, a section just simply for all of my past customers. So first we're going to go here under all contacts, but I want to make sure I mention if you ever want to import your contacts from a separate system, you can. You would go right here, import contacts, and then you would choose the CSV file, and then you would select all of the information that you want to extract from that file. Okay, we're going to circle back on this section in just a little bit. And as you create contacts in the Agent 3000 system, remember, you can export them and then put them in your brokerage's CRM. Just wanted to quickly highlight this section because I got this question in the first class. Can you import contacts? Yes, you can. Okay, let's go back to the top though. Let's go under all contacts, and I want to make sure I show you as you add your customers into the system, you can see exactly all of their information, just like a standard CRM, their name, telephone number, email address, and you can immediately input that customer into an email drip campaign where they will receive automatic emails based on the different email drips that you create. Again, we're going to cover that in just a little bit. Under emails, there is the drip email and action plans that you could build. Okay, let's go back up though. Another thing that you can do under contacts is add notes. For example, maybe you have a commitment that you need to do for that customer. Maybe you want to make sure for that buyer that you remember the criteria that they asked you in order to search for properties. So right here where you see, for example, let's look at one right here. Go a little farther down. For example, this customer, right? It says 0, but if I wanted to add something, I can. I just click, and then I can create a new task where I can follow up directly with that customer. All right. I'm just going to show you how that works real quick. Let me go back. I think there. Sorry, I did click on the wrong button. So right here, just make sure that you read the line. If you want to add notes, this is what I meant to do. Click here, and then that's going to allow you to add notes directly to that customer. You would just put looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property for rent in Vizcaya area. Something like that. Whoops. Area. Click on save. And then that's going to add that specific note to that customer's contact record, as you can see. And if you ever want to see all of the notes that you've ever created, again, for all your customers with a full bird's eye view, under your contacts, you can go to all contact notes, and that's going to show you all of the notes you've ever created for all your customers, including their name, telephone number, email address, the specific note. If you updated that note, that's always important. If you did modify it, you could always see if you changed it after you originally created it. I'm going to go back to all contacts. Again, that's the notes section. All right, over here under tasks, if you ever want to create just one task per customer, you can. You would just go directly into the customer. Let me just find one real quick. Click on add. You would go right up here to create the new task. Also, real quick, before I do create the task, I want to make sure I also mention you can access and create tasks and current tasks also here under tasks and create one. So again, there's 2 different ways to create tasks for your customers. Again, the follow-ups regarding reminders of commitments that you need to do for your customers. Again, you could do it here under tasks or under all contacts. Let me go here real quick. And then you can also do it manually per customer as well. All right. I'm going to click on add. Let's create a task real quick. And I just want to show you all the different types of tasks. Again, reminders. I want to stress tasks means reminders for you. You can create a general task, a task to remind yourself to email your customer or that they need to email you. Maybe you sent them the exclusive buyer's brokerage agreement and you want to set up a 2-day notice just to be friendly to give them enough time to get back to you. Maybe you want to remind yourself to text the customer or that they need to text you. That's also an option here. I'm going to create a general task though, because the general task, I get to add a little bit more notes. And most of us are going to use the general tasks if we have an inspection period that's up and coming, or if we have, again, any type of commitment, including maybe a closing date for our seller or buyer. So I'm going to go ahead and select general task. I'm going to say that we need to do it on, let's do the 9th, Monday the 9th. And then the due date, notification time, meaning when it's going to let me know that this is due. Let's say, let's not freak ourselves out at 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's put 12 p.m. just to do that. All right. And you can enter any short codes as well. Short codes, just to make sure that this makes sense. If you want to enter information about your customer inside of that notification. So these are shorthand codes that you can add. That's just going to put, again, the name of your customer automatically into the note that you create. For example, their first name, last name, if needed. And you could put this. This is going to help you when you go into the creating the task in the main menu. I'm going to say inspection period on the 9th. And this is the cool part. You can get a text notification. Again, that's going to require for you to set up Twilio in the settings menu at the top. And then we have the email me, which is for free as a notification. So we can look at the system to see when that task is due. And I also can get a free email when it's due. So I'm going to click on save. And we've essentially added right here that general message for that customer, that task. I click on close. And if I go back to the main menu, I have that task now available right here, as you can see. All right. You can mark it as complete. Sometimes we do things early, right? You can mark it as complete. So you know that you did it. That's for folks like, and I say this nicely, some of us are, I'm going to call myself chaotic. It is good to have something like this as far as reminding ourselves again of our commitments to our customers so that we keep ourselves good and grounded. I hope that makes some sense there. All right, so let's go back to contacts, go back under all contacts. All right, and the other really cool thing about the contacts is if they do search on your website and they continue to search, we can see also from this vantage, from a bird's eye view, what listing they're looking at, and the if they saved a search or a property, as you can see. So the little floppy disk is if they save a property or search, and the eyeball is if they looked and glanced at listings as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and move over real quick. A little bit more information. There you go. Okay, boom. Now this is very, very important that I go over this. All right, so we have the ability from this menu to select multiple customers. Just want to make sure I mention here where we can delete if needed by simply check marking, or if we want to refer these customers. For example, I'm just going to put this in perspective. I'm an agent that knows Miami, right? I don't know Palm Beach, but I had a customer that's looking for properties in Palm Beach, but they registered. I want to make sure I mention, but they registered on my website. I can refer them directly to another agent. I can find their name, ID, their phone number or email, and then submit that the customer's information directly to them. What I would do though, before I get to that point, you should have some kind of referral agreement established as far as terms before we get to this part and then send that potential customer directly to them. Want to make sure I mention that. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's a general overview of the contacts. Over here in the top right, though, you do have the ability to add individual contacts one at a time. You want to import from a CSV file, you do so under the import contacts section. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, so under new contact, just want to show you how to fill that out. You would put the title, Miss or Mrs., first name, last name, their phone numbers. Just make sure that you select the applicable type of phone and then save. Email addresses, internet addresses, including maybe their own website. And then this is crucial, 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 crucial. I know that this can be a little bit of and I say this nicely, can be kind of hard to ask our customers their birth dates, right? But they're willing to give us that. What we're going to be able to do with that is turn that into, let me just go ahead and show you real quick. Let's put in I use the word John a lot, name John a lot. Let's make it a little bit different. Bear with me a moment. As you register the customer into the system, if they supply us with their birth date, right? Let me go and make this like, for example, July. Let's make this person around my age, somewhere around there. All right. We can include their spouse's birthday. It's always good to say, "Hey, I work primarily with you, but I remember your spouse." If I can get that information, it's going to go a long way. All right. Wedding anniversary dates. All of this information shows up. I just want to stress it in the main menu. If you upgrade, it's not put 1945. Oh Lord, 1980. Let's just put that. Marital status, married. We can enter their gender information as well. Their income. Good to know if they're pre-approved. Good option for the income part to include that. Let's be modest. I'm not sure what modest is in South Florida, but hey. All right. Religion, if needed, as well. And when it comes to the ability to add these customers, I want to make sure I mention as you add these customers and you include their address, if you get that information, if you plug that in, you have the ability to follow up, creating under this section labels. You can automatically, if you enter the address of your customers, there is a create label option where you can create a label so that you can send them around, for example, Christmas, the holiday season, letting them know that you're still in business. So I want to make sure I repeat real quick. If you add their address under each contact record, you're going to be able to generate labels and then potentially work on a flyer that you can send or a marketing piece. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Let's go ahead and move down. And as you create manual customers, you're going to be able to automatically assign them to the groups that are available. Or if you want to add a contact group, this is one of the places you can do that. So if you want to add a prospect group, a section for just buyers or sellers, maybe casual walk-ins to your office. Maybe you want to add, for example, mortgage companies. You could do that. You would just go here and put that information, lender group, something like that, and then save it. And then that's going to add them and the group automatically, as you can see. And if you ever need to edit or maybe put them into multiple groups, as you can see, you can. All right. Also, we always want to know how prospects are locating us. We want to know what marketing we're doing that is helping us. So under contact source, I can label them as a customer, prospect, personal, or business to business. Personal would be, for example, family members, right? Or friends that maybe you've represented in past deals. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. Let's put business to business because I did select lender group here and prospect group. Let's just use lender for now for business to business. And then source, this is where we get to list exactly how we came in contact with them. How did they find us or how did we find them? Craigslist, Facebook, floor call, for sale by owner, Google ad, all the way down to Zillow. All right. Perfect. From there, you can enter the referral contact as well. So for example, that customer was referred directly to you. Again, this part's super duper optional where you can enter that agent that gave you that customer that wasn't able to represent them. Always good to keep that person's information. That way you can follow up and say, hey, do you have any other business? That kind of thing. You can also include a secondary contact as well. So if you don't want to create two records for maybe a couple, you can enter a secondary a contact, such as maybe an emergency contact. That's another good use, the secondary contact. And then you can input their information. And as I mentioned, if you input their home address, you can. We just go ahead and put the address. Because I want to show you exactly what this does. All right. Their work details, including the company that they work for, you can include that there. Click on save. And then under dashboards, we have that brand new customer, including their up and coming birthdays and their anniversary dates. So for example, I just put in Beverly Hills birthday. So I get to know when that is going to come up. So that's on the July the 5th. That way, if I want to send her a direct email campaign, I can, if I want to do something from there. Let me go back real quick. And then right there, we also have that wedding anniversary that I put in there. Okay. One more time. If you want to create a label, maybe to send them a marketing piece through the mail, want to just double tap on this, go over this one more time. Under contacts, you have your create labels, and then you can create the style of label. The best label system is going to be 5160 because what that does is it saves trees. It's going to create 3 different columns of all of your customers. Or you can hyper focus on a very specific group, including past customers. If you create that type of record, I'm going to say my buyers. And then right here, this is important. Select a date range to only print labels between those dates. So this deals with when you originally added customers here. It will give you all of the records as long as you go back since when you originally set up your CRM. click on submit, and then that creates immediately labels. I don't have a buyer's group. That's why it's blank. But if you had a buyer's group with customers, you would have saw all of their addresses. Just want to clarify why it didn't load anything. Okay, we're going to keep going. All right. So again, that's the all contacts. Again, we've covered the create new contact. Again, that's the same as clicking at the very top, new contact. Again, this is another manual way to register each individual customer or prospect. Tasks right here as well. As I mentioned, this is another way to see all of your upcoming tasks or create brand new tasks, which we covered earlier. All right. Also covered this section where I can see all of the notes that I've compiled for all my customers, all of the birthday anniversary dates that I've registered in their details under all contacts. I can manage all of the different groups that I have. Under manage groups, I can look at all the groups that I've created. And if I ever want to move my contacts in the different groups, I can. I would jump in here. If I want to add more to that group, for example, prospect group, again, this is how I add and move my customers around. I would just go here, update groups right there, and then that moves them around to different groups. Or if you want to add a manual group, meaning a new type of group, maybe a lender group, right? Past customers group. Let's do that because I don't have that. So let's go and do that. Past customers, save. It adds that as a new contact group. Okay, perfect. All right, now let's keep going. We covered create labels. We did that already. All right, the next one is contacts referral sent. Again, if you refer your customer, as I showed you earlier, to another agent, you're going to be able to see all of the past contacts that you've either sent or that you've received. So you can receive referrals also in the Agent 3000 system. All right. And as I mentioned, import contacts, as long as you have a CSV of all of your past customers, you're going to be able to bring those directly in. But this is the part I want to slow down. Sean was nice enough, the creator of Agent 3000, to give us a video and pretty much going over how to make sure that you import it correctly. Because the mapping, that's important depending on the system that you use. What this does is it matches the information from that file. So real quick, let me just show you. Go to my contacts real quick in Matrix. All right. And go ahead and there you go. Yep. Boom. Export. Okay. This over. There you go. Sorry, guys. Got a lot of stuff open. Here we go. Move that here. So it's just an easy pick up and grab. All right. So I'm going to pretend like I'm importing. So I click on it. Boom. And this is the beautiful part of Agent 3000. When you import the file from the external system that you're using, it's going to try to best map the information. So always know the information that you filled out for that customer. So for example, what's the first thing it's asking me? Title, right? Matrix, if you're importing directly from Matrix, make sure that you have the title filled out. If you don't, it's not going to bring it in. So again, you map it based on the Excel spreadsheet. So you would look for title. First name, you would look for first name. Last name, you would look for last name. Again, that's after you upload the file. You have the suffix name if that's important. That's if it's in the Excel spreadsheet. Keep that in mind. Mobile phone number. You would go through your list. The equivalent in that Excel spreadsheet would be the right here, telephone mobile, home phone. And we would go through the system, locate that. Work phone. Let's see if work, pager, mobile, other. I'm going to put that under other. I think you guys get the feel of what we're doing. Again, it's mapping the data from the Agent 3000 system with what is inside of the Excel spreadsheet. So primary email to, let's go ahead and pull that. Very important. I think I went too fast. There it is. Email one. I'm right on it. Work email other. And again, if you have all this information in the spreadsheet, you're going to be able to select it. I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip secondary for now. And then as you import, you can automatically put those into a separate group or put them into any groups that you've already created. All right, I'm going to go and put these in my first time visitors. All right. You can also select how you got these contacts. You can automatically add the home address directly from, if you want, from the Excel spreadsheet as well. Their work details. You can preview what's going to be imported as well. So I have their name as well. First name, primary email. We move over, and then you would save it, and then that just brings in the contacts. It'll let you know if you have duplicates as well. So it said 3 contacts added out of the 17 because I have the other options for the other 14, I should say, inside of the Agent 3000 contacts already. So it won't create duplicates. That's the beautiful thing. It will only bring in new customers. Okay. So that is essentially the contact section. Other than exporting, as I mentioned, you want to go back since you originally set up the CRM and then export all of your contacts from there. Okay, perfect. Hope everyone feels comfortable there with the contacts explanation. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to move down into leads real quick. All right, under leads, there's a couple of awesome stuff that you have here. Again, leads is synonymous, meaning it's the same thing as this, as this. It's the same thing. You're just seeing it from a different perspective. I can see in just one section all of the individuals that went to my website to search, if they registered, their contact, if they went to the instant home valuation registered, the landing page leads, if they went to the contact page in order to register. Again, this here is the same as this right here. Okay, let me jump into chat real quick. Walter asked, is something you can share again, Tyson, how to add your digital business card, a link for the buyers to look at availability of properties in their current location. Walter, I'll try to cover that after I go through the website because there's a lot to go over for the CRM. We still need to go over the email portion and also the website. Okay, but if I could fit it, remind me. No, you're good. Just try to remind me because I'll forget otherwise. Okay, let me go ahead and I just want to make sure I have this still pulled up. Okay, let me go back. All right, so that's leads in a nutshell. We kind of already covered it. We're going to keep going. Now, this is the hard part. I know I don't mean that in a bad way. I just want to make sure I go over this very, very slowly, which is the email aspect of the CRM. Okay. Okay. So if you have an email system, for example, maybe you use Gmail, maybe you use, for example, maybe Hotmail. Let me click on email settings. Maybe you use Yahoo for your business email. As you send emails in the Agent 3000 system, it's going to leverage your email that you have outside of Agent 3000. So if you have a Gmail account, what it's going to do is leverage sending emails directly from that Agent 3000 account. It's going to automatically use your Gmail account to send those emails. I hope that made sense. Okay. So under email settings, this is where we go in order to register and connect the email system that we have directly to Agent 3000 so it can work for us. Okay. So if you would like to do that, once you go to email settings, you would pay very, very close attention to what it says here. Okay. So further down, you would select your email provider. I just want to show you the list of all of the email providers that Agent 3000 works with. That's Gmail, GoDaddy, AOL, Windows Live, Hotmail. I haven't seen it with that name in a very long time. That's interesting. Yahoo, Yahoo Business, Comcast, CenturyLink, Outlook 365, and Apple Mail. Comcast, I don't think, if I remember right, I think they discontinued their email system. If any of you guys use Comcast email, let me know. I want to say I got an email that they stopped using their email portion. Okay, but most of us, what we're going to do is we're likely going to use a Gmail account in order to connect that Gmail account with the Agent 3000 system. And Sean was very nice enough in the very top to give us the steps. So, what he's going to tell you to do if you use Gmail is he's going to give you exactly where you need to go inside of that account to set it up. So, you're going to go right here first. Click here to go to your Google account. That's going to automatically sign you in. I think that's the wrong one. Hold on. There you go. Boom. Okay, let's go back. All right. And then from there, once you click, he's going to tell you where to go. If you have more than one Gmail account, make sure you're logged into the correct email account. Select security on the left. So he's going to tell you where to go. Security. Again, I'm going to give you the steps. And we're going to do this slowly because, again, this is the hard part. Make sure you have a two-step verification set up for your account about halfway down the page in center. So you keep going. So you're going to look for the two-step verification. We're not going to do the two-step or the four-step. I don't know how they do it in the country music, but after you go to security, you go here. Two-step verification. All right. And then you're going to set up a pass key. It's going to tell you right there. Make sure you set up a two-step verification halfway down. If you do not, you will need to return to the previous screen. After you set up that two-step verification, it's going to give you an app password. All right. What you're going to do is you're going to come down here, enter your email address and the password that it gives you. First step was to include Gmail. You're going to click on active, which is yes. And then you're going to go to the next part. Copy the 16-character code in the yellow and paste it right here. But as you create the group, you're going to name it so you remember Agent 3000. Okay. This part's very easy. You just keep going. Hold on. I forgot. I got to get this the wrong account. Darn it, guys. Okay. But you get the feel. All you do is once you click on it, you name the account as Agent 3000. You click generate, and then you enter that 16-character code right here. I'll just show. I got a good idea. Watch this. He'll show us right here. This is the part that I'm in reference to, and I'll speak as he does it. You just open it up. Let me make sure I get it at 720p real quick. There you go. Let me go back. Right here. Okay. So it's automatically going to put the server type and the port number, so you guys don't have to worry about any of that. You just select Gmail like he's doing. Active, yes. You put your email address, the password that it gives you, and then he gives you the daily limit on how many emails you should be sending each day. It's that easy. If any of you need help, please let me know. I'm going to put my email in the chat and I'll help you guys. But this part is super easy. It's just getting into your account and then getting honestly under the security and then getting right over here into the two-step verification part. Okay. We're going to keep going, guys. Okay. Once you're done, you click on verify and save. Mine's already been set up. And then what that does, as I said, it's going to automatically allow you to use Gmail so that Agent 3000 can send emails directly from its server. I want to touch base on this one more time. When you're using your email accounts, you want to keep your emailing, I should say, under 100 emails a day, and it says it right there, every 24 hours. Why? If you go over 100 emails every 24 hours, your email could go into what is called a blacklist. What that will do is it will cause your email to bounce, meaning it won't even show up in that customer or prospect's spam folder. They just will not get it at all. You don't want that to happen. Again, keep your emailing under 100. per 24 hours. Just want to make sure I hyper stress. Okay, I hope everyone has a good understanding on how to set that up. Again, if you guys have questions, please let me know. All right, we're going to keep going. All right, the next section that I want to go over real quick is market trend campaigns. So again, we're in the email section. There's different ways that you can create email campaigns. What this part does is if you ever want to, maybe you focus on a very specific segment of a market, you have a lot of customers in that area, come under market trend campaigns, kind of like what we did in the first class. You can create a market campaign based on how your areas are doing. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Doral single family market. Okay. And again, this is tied into the system where you can automatically create a email trend campaign. You can include a subject. All we did up here was name this email type. I can use this also for the subject name that the customer is going to receive. And then this is the cool part. I can use the short codes. So if I send this email to 5 customers, as long as I have their first, last name, these are placeholders where their info will automatically show up. I just need to put a comma. But make sure that there's a space between the brackets. Otherwise, their first and last name is going to be right next to each other. Okay, without a space. So I put first, last name. So all of the different customers I target that I send this to, this is going to automatically pull their name. And then I could put, let's not put good day or good morning. I would put something like, the summer is upon us, something like that. Here is your latest market update for single family homes in the Doral market. Okay, just as a quick little body message in the email. Also, if I want to incorporate my email signature, you can. It automatically pulls your information based on what you've supplied under your settings. So it's going to automatically put your full name, your direct phone number, email, website, office name, address, office city, state, and zip code. But if you ever want to get rid of one of these options, you can. For example, if you don't want to include maybe I'm thinking of what we should use. We kind of need all this stuff. But if we don't want to include maybe the office, it's going to be in Florida, right? If we don't want to have the state show up, I can delete that, as you can see. Okay, perfect. So let's keep going. So again, we're building in this section an email campaign. I can select the bedrooms, bathrooms, maximum baths, price range as well. If I need to, if I'm focusing on maybe new construction, I can select a year built as well. So if I wanted to turn this into maybe the new inventory in Doral, I can. Let's do that actually. Let's make this really cool. New inventory in Doral, Florida. Let's just do that. Right here. Boom. Okay. And then I'll change this part now. Real quick. Here is your latest market update for new construction properties, just something like that. Again, I'm trying to give you guys as many inspirations as I can. So we're going to move down. Let's put 2023 plus is good. Okay. And then from there, if you're an investor agent, we have foreclosures in here also. Gulf access homes, short sales, again, distressed property where the homeowner is got their very first notice called a lease pendants. They're either behind on their mortgage or they got a notice from their association. I can select very specific communities. So if you want to create maybe an email just for one community, create another one for another community, you can. We're going to select City of Doral, though, just for this example. We're going to select the property type. Let's just move down. Residential. All right. Subtype. Let's look at single family real quick. And then condo. Okay. Perfect. And then when you're done building, again, the email market trend campaign, All you have to do is move down and then submit. If you want to restart, you have reset also. That's creating that email. And that's going to let us know if we had a peak in sales when it comes to new construction. So we are reporting sales did go up in February, peak for new construction sales for this market. Again, for new construction from 2023 and on, April was a hot month, as we can see, but there was a drop off a little bit in May for sales. We also have the average days on market for these type of properties. All right, cool. Just wanted to show that real quick. Again, it's going to show our information at the bottom. And then we have that brand new email campaign located here. And then if we want to subscribe our customers to these emails that we create, you're going to notice right here, add remove subscribers. This is how you can set up an auto email where they can receive a notice or a notification each month based on this report. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's use the buyer group. Okay, update campaign subscribers. All right, and then that's going to send them a monthly email. I want to make sure I repeat that one more time. That's going to send them a monthly email when you click that button after you build it. And as that email goes out each month, you're going to be able to see statistics on how many times they're open each month, how many times it was open, for example, this month, if it failed to be opened by a customer, meaning they didn't receive it. There was a server area or error, I should say, or it bounced. It'll tell you right here why. Okay. This is also going to let you know if it's still running as well. Check mark means that it's still an auto email that your customers are getting. If it's red X, it means that it was disabled. All right. And anytime, if you ever want to edit the criteria that you selected for that individual email campaign, you can edit it. You just click on edit, and that's going to allow you to go back through it and modify anything you want. If you want to delete, you can. There's the little trash can. And if you want to preview it before submitting it to your customers, you click on preview just to show that. Okay. Awesome. So again, that is the market trend campaign. We're going to keep going. The next one is going to be, we're going to cover this fairly quickly, guys. The drip email actions plan. All right. The reason why I'm not going to focus too much on time on this is I want you to get comfortable building your own emails, your own email templates, launching email blasts, and then having access to these general email templates that you can just start building and then launching into your email blasts. We're going to circle back on all of that, and I'm going to explain it much, much slower. But essentially, drip email action plans, what that allows you to do is if you go over here in the top right where you see new drip email action plan, you can build one that is automatically built in the system by Sean with Agent 3000. He has several good options. There's one good for a buyer's group. If you have multiple buyers, there's a general buyer's only email. They'll get 12 separate emails over the course of 3 months. You also have an option, again, not free. This is going to use Twilio, where you can send 4 text messages regarding information on the buying process. And then you also have buyer's action plan, buyer's plan, home check before open house for a seller, and then any additional ones that you've created over time, including market updates that you can use as drip campaigns as well. Okay, but if you want to create one, I just want to show how to do that real quick. Let's call this, let's use the buyer action plan. We'll call this the buyer's action plan. Past clients. All right, and then from there, as I mentioned, you can go in here, select any of the groups that you've created, click on save, and then that's going to allow you, if you want, to preview each email that's going to be sent over time. So day one is the first email that they'll get once you assign it. You have the next one that'll come out a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, and then you can select the time. You would just click on edit. That's if you want to change the date frequency of when they receive it. and the time. You can change that individually, and you can also change any of the writing in the email, including the subject. Okay, perfect. All right, from there, I'm going to go back and again, how do you add these drip email campaigns after you build them? That's the next part. All we did was build them. But if you want to, as you're building them, have them automatically assigned to customers, you go back into your contacts and then you select the email campaign right here. For example, I just did the buyer's action plan right here, past clients, and then that automatically assigns it, and then they will start receiving those auto emails. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. I just wanted to briefly go over that because I want to make sure I have enough time to go over how to manually create. A little bit harder, how to manually create emails. So let's go back under emails. All right, so that's the drip email action plan. I'm going to skip video email because from what I understand, it's not working right now. Let me try it real quick, see if it's working. I did get an error last time. Yeah, it's still not working. Okay. I reported that to Sean. Sean's working on it, but if you ever want to include videos in your email blast to your customers, you will be able to do that. It's just not working right now. Okay. We're going to go next to the email template designer. Okay. But again, I like to teach people how to save the amount of steps. Okay, so email template designer. I want to make sure I mention that it has a brother-sister relationship with this section where you see email listing templates. Okay, you can, of course, under email template designer, use the base templates that the system automatically provides if you want. Let me go ahead and just select this one real quick, select. And then if you want to compose a message in here, you can. My opinion, this is what I wanted to tell you, is you're going to do a much easier job creating emails by using the email listing templates right here. Okay, so we're going to go over this slowly. I'm just going to grab this listing number real quick. I'm going to go back. And this is just a way easier way to create emails. Go here where you see email listing templates. And if you want to create maybe an email blast for maybe a property that you're trying to sell and you want to email that to all of your customers, or just create a general email on a property that's available that you can send to anyone. You have single property, one or more. Maybe you have multiple sets of listings that you're trying to sell. You can select up to 3 listings. And if you want to create an email market snapshot on the areas that you service, it's just going to be a lot easier. So let's go ahead and demo first the single property real quick. All right, I'm going to input the listing number of my listing. We're just going to plug this in real quick. All right, accept. Okay, perfect. And then I can create a description. So I remember what I'm creating for that email template. We're going to call this one Wilton Manors SF for single family home. I'm going to put the address so I remember exactly where this property is located that I have listed. All right. Perfect. Again, we're setting up an email. I want to be very clear what we're doing. We're setting up an email. Okay. And then from there, I can include my company logo at the top of the email. I can keep the listing remarks as well, or I can add anything else. I can say priced to sell, will go quick. Contact me for more details. All right. Just something like that. Okay. And then here's what's also really cool. It's going to tell you right here, URL link to listing. This is if you want to grab the single listing website link. If you want to ever share that, we went over that earlier under the OK to advertise. And you can also include just a quick little, how do I put the easiest way to put this is at the top of your browser, as you can see, every single page has a little label. You can put a little label there. I'm just going to click on create. Oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, I got to put that here. Oh, I thought I selected a photo. Hold on. Let me do that again. Boom. Okay, let me go down, create, boom. Okay, so essentially, again, what we're doing is we're creating emails, okay, that we can load into the email blast right here or the email template designer. Okay, so let me go down real quick. If I want to grab the code and then plug that into my email campaign, I can. This takes the raw code that I built. I'm going to show you where to use that in a moment. If you want to grab just the email HTML, just to preview what it looks like, you'll have that. And if you ever want to edit the details, meaning all of the information we wrote, you have edit. If you want to delete, you can. You can delete. But again, what we're here to do is as we create emails, you can grab the code, go back into your email template designer, and then build it again, but with less work. So I'm going to go ahead and create this template. We're going to call this the Wilton, there you go, Wilton Manors. Whoops. Home in SF. No, sorry guys. Single family homes. There you go. Okay. Home available. Sorry about that. There you go. Now we're going. Okay, you can enter a subject. Wilton Manors home price to sell. Okay. This is the part that I'm trying to show you. So once you take that code, if you go here to source, you can plug in that HTML code, click source again, it will add and build that email. Again, I like to save you guys time, especially those that do not know HTML code. Okay, so we have that here. We can send ourselves a test email before we submit it to our customer. Oh, I got to save it first. Okay, so I'm going to save it. Forgot to do that. And now I can send a test email to myself just so I know what it looks like. Again, before I submit it directly to a customer. Okay. Perfect. Okay. All right. And as you build email templates, they're going to show up right down here. And if you ever want to edit the information, you can. It's going to put you right back into the email template where you can modify it. If you want to duplicate it, you can duplicate or delete any past emails that you've created. Now, again, all this does is allows us to build it. We haven't sent anything to anyone yet. So as we create these email templates, if I ever want to send it to a customer or send it to multiple customers, I have the launch email blast right here. Okay. That's going to allow me to select the template. For example, we just did the Wilton Manors home, South Florida, homes available, price to sell. I can select the date when I want that email to go out. So for example, I'm going to say tomorrow, the 6th. Enter a name for the email blast so we remember. It's going to show up down here once we create it. I'm going to put Wilton Manors homes priced to sell. I'm going to put a date. Very important to remember when you sent this, when you're sending it, I should say. 0606, or no, 0607, I should say, 2025. All right. And then I can select the individual groups that I've created and then send a blast email to all 6, for example, in my prospect group that I've created. Once I click on launch email blast, it's going to let me know how many individuals are on that list, if the email has been sent, and if it's been completed, as you can see. All right. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to keep going, guys. Again, real quick, let's go back to email template designer one more time. As I mentioned, you can create manual emails by using the base template. And then you can build it and then put whatever you want in the body of the email. Okay. Hopefully everyone's getting a good understanding of how to use this. Again, the email is the hardest part. I wanted to knock out the hardest part before we get to the easier part, which is the website. Okay. If anyone has questions, please let me know. Okay. Let's keep going. So again, email listing templates is how you save time in order to design emails so that you can launch them. Okay. So we covered single property. One or more properties is pretty much the same thing. You just have the ability to input multiple listing numbers. That's if you're selling maybe multiple properties for maybe a seller. Again, market snapshot, we covered that a little bit earlier as well. All right. And that is pretty almost it for the emails. We're not done with the email part. There's going to be some aspects of the email function once we create the websites. We're gonna go ahead and jump directly into that part. So let's go ahead and discuss how to build a website. Okay. All right. Now, in order to build a website after you upgrade, you go here, website, and then you click on set up website. Another thing I want to make sure I mention is a lot of us will, of course, once we upgrade to Agent 3000 to have the website, I want to make sure I mention you do have the ability to go to GoDaddy directly and then purchase a domain. For example, Susie Sanchez at sellshomes.com. If you buy that, you can contact Sean. And then what he will do is instead of your website showing up with, for example, which mine is Samuel Haynes at listingspy.com, instead of that being my website, he can mask it to where it goes to your preferred domain that maybe you pay directly with GoDaddy. I want to make sure I answer that because I usually get that question. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going, guys. All right, so again, this is where we go to build the website. This is where we enter at least the first portion of the website before we use maybe something like GoDaddy. I would suggest to put your first and last name. Never put your first and last name and the name of your brokerage, please, especially if it's your agent website. Less is more. And more importantly, you want to keep your what I call, and we all call it, your SEO optimization the way it needs to be. You are your own brand, right? So just go here, put your first, your last name. Do not put your brokerage because what happens if you leave that brokerage? You're going to have to change your website name. And then if you do that, you're messing up your SEO, your search engine optimization. Okay. Now, there's a couple of templates when you create the website. This one's very short and sweet. Use template 5. Template 5 is good for a desktop computer and a mobile phone. And then from there, you can select your color scheme of your website. You can select an image that shows up in the background. Let me go ahead and go back to mine just so we can see what that looks like. An image that shows up in the background, as you can see. We have a lot of free options available built into the system. And you can, of course, upload your own file right here for a background image. All right. Okay. Once you select one that you want to use, you just click on select and then it adds it there. You can also select a background color as well. You can enter a title of your website. Again, this deals with how it shows up at the top of the browser. Meta description is how your website is going to be searched and then indexed on websites like Google. Okay. So you want to make sure that you describe all of the different areas that you service along with your full name. And so that the SEO works very effectively for you, enter your name. Again, all of the different types of properties that you sell, the different types of markets that you work in. And then always, like I said in the second class, create a hashtag that is exclusive to you that no one else is using. As customers go to your page, you can set up a Google Analytics account, plug in your Google ID. That's going to let you know where these prospects, where they're searching from. Are they out of New York? Are they out of New Jersey? It's going to be great insight of who's clicking and where they're clicking from on your website. Another company that does that is AdWorks. So if you ever want to Use AdWorks to figure out analytics on your website. You could also set up an AdWorks account. I would recommend Google though. Okay. Again, we're setting up that website. Let's keep going, guys. Now, over here where you see IDX lead captures, I kind of explained this earlier, but let's just repeat this one more time. As customers or prospects go to your website to search, you can limit to how many properties they view before you force them to register. My opinion is let them look at 3 properties before you lock them and force the system to ask them to register. Right. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Boom. There you go. As you can see, it's going to ask for first, last email, phone number, and then that's going to automatically load them into the system. Okay. This next part, a little confusing, but I want to make sure I explain it. If they register, you can automatically add that customer to any of the email drip campaigns that you have. So, for example, we have that buyer 12 steps that we looked at earlier, or any other campaigns that I create. You can select those. And then you can automatically create an automatic email response after they register on your website. How do you set up that auto email response, though? You do so here under automation. Let's repeat that one more time. When the customer registers on your website, you can create an automatic response, letting them know, hey, thank you for registering. I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can. You go to right here to automation. Perfect, perfect. And then you go here to auto email. And then you create that message. So I'm going to put in welcome automatic email, just like that. And then from there, I can build it. I'm going to put, because they registered, I can put first, click the first, or full name. That's actually easier now that I just noticed. Let's do that again. Full name. It's going to include their first and last name. Thank you for registering on my website. I will get back to you ASAP regarding your wants and needs. All right, perfect. Again, you don't have to say too much. It's just again, an automatic message letting them know that, hey, I know you're registered. I will get back to you promptly so that they know that we will. All right, from there, I'm going to click on save. And then I'm going to go back into the website, set up website. Okay, and then I go right here. And then I select what we just built, the welcome auto email with that response. I can do the same thing for SMS. Again, you got to pay for this. This is the Twilio part. Again, $2 and change. If you do want to take advantage of that under automation, you set up your auto SMS and then click on it right here. How's everyone doing in chat? Is everyone good? Just want to double check. I don't want to lose anybody. Okay, awesome, Walter. Awesome, awesome. Okay, we're going to keep going. Now, again, IDX. Want to repeat, IDX means your website, the search section of your website. Okay, now you have the ability to automatically have the system start pricing, meaning it's going to load listings based on the price that you select here. Mine had 250,000. We do not have properties, and I mean we do not have properties as low as 250. I'm sorry. We don't even have single family homes where the roof is flying off at 250 right now. To be honest, we may have some co-op condos at that price, but we do not have single family homes. So I'm going to change that price to 400,000. So again, this deals with the automatic price that shows up right here. So I had it at 250 before, which is why it's saying 250 now. We're going to go back real quick. I can also select the cities that show up as they search right here. So if I want to include multiple, I can. So I'm going to put Miami, Doral. Let's go ahead and add. Let's be fancy. Let's add several. We're going to say I'm a Broward agent and also a Miami agent all over the place. All right. Not Brickell, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, this is good. This is a good start. Let's add a little bit more color bay. All right, cool. And Weston, let's do Weston also. Boom. Okay. And then this is the next part I want to go over slowly. Default property view. Okay. You can have them start in the map, which is this view, or you can have them start within a list view, which looks like this. They're going to be able to just see this. I like the map view though, for them to start. And then you can have them start if you want on the grid view as well. Let me do that one more time. Grid. Again, that's your traditional search grid. That's great for us, but I would say for a consumer, have them start on the map. It's much easier. Map. Okay, perfect. You can also include your mortgage company. If maybe your brokerage is partners with a mortgage company, you can enter their office name, cell phone number, their NMLS ID, their name as well. And if you ever want to, if you want to feature, maybe you have a listing. Maybe you have a listing on your that you're trying to sell. You can feature any listings that you have on your website. Also, you would just go here and then enter the MLS number. This section, I would put a little biography about myself, and then I can input my social media right here as well. Oh, I don't have my Instagram. Let me put that https://www www.instagram.com/ All right. Perfect. And then you can save it as well as view the website as well from this menu. Okay, it's that easy. It's that easy as far as setting up the again all of the free stuff that you get. Let me go back real quick. All of the free stuff that you automatically get. Okay. But how do I edit my website? You go here. Content list right here. And if you ever want to get rid of any section on your website, for example, a blog, this one is automatically set to show up for you, the blog. But who blogs anymore? I say this nicely. Who blogs in 2025? That was something we really did about 10 years ago. So if you ever want to turn off the blog part of your website, you can click on edit and then you can go right here to turn it off. Okay. But as you can see, these are the main sections of your website. So we have that instant home valuation. We have the search new construction. Actually, I haven't built that yet. Let me show you how to build that. I got to show you how to do that. Okay, I have a new section that I just created called Search New Construction. All right. There's also the little about me, a seller section. Again, you get all of these with the exception of this one. You get all of this automatically. Sellers, home evaluation request, why you use a realtor, interviewing a realtor, pricing your home, cost related to selling your home. A buyer gets a mortgage calculator in meeting their needs as a buyer. All right. Again, you get all of these sections for free. But if you ever want to edit the wording, for example, maybe you have some better information from your brokerage regarding pricing your home. Click on edit, and then you can edit any of the verbiage, as you can see. You would just click on update. Okay. But let me show you how to build things. Let's make sure to show you how to build different aspects of your website. So in the 101, in the first class that we went over, I showed you where you can create branded ebooks. I also showed you how you can take the embedded code and then put it on your website, and I showed you how you could take just the link here. But if you ever want to have, for example, maybe the seller's guide on your website or the buyer's guide, you go to Flipbook embedded code, you grab it, you go back into your website, content list, and then you build the page. You click on new, you go to source, and then you plug in the HTML. But you're not done. Make sure you finish. So we're going to go ahead and put only menu item, no content. Okay, so there is content. We don't select that one. It's not an external link. Full width. We're going to enter a menu title. page title, I should say. We're going to go ahead and call this the seller's guide, like so. All right. Menu title, seller's guide. All right. And then from there, only menu item. We're going to keep it. It does have content, so we're going to click on save. All right. Perfect. You would only, let me go back real quick. Let me make sure I explain these. All right. Okay. Only menu item, meaning it's just a link, but there's no, you didn't build anything. That's if it's only a direct external link that you're putting here. Okay. So let me go back. So I just built that seller's guide, but it created a separate page for it. What I want to do is move it under my sellers section. So if I drag it, I can put it right here under my seller's guide, the page I literally just built. Click on save, menu order. If I go back to my page, I can go back to my seller section, click on the seller's guide, and I have that book I just created where the customer can go through that section. I could do the same thing for buyer also. Create a buyer's guide and then plug that also into the web page. All right, now you did notice though, real quick, I did do the search new construction. I did build this. I literally just had my, and I hate to say this, I had my Mac worked on where all of my passwords were wiped out, which is why I didn't go into, unfortunately, like I normally do, how to post on Instagram, guys. I'm sorry for that. Or Facebook. I don't have some of those accounts right now. But if you want, you have the search new construction. You can create a page taking advantage of Neo. Neo is new estates only. I think I can still do this actually. Hold on. Let me show you how you can build it. This I think I can do. I want to show you how you can take advantage of Neo, which is new estates only, where you can build a web page on your website. You don't necessarily have to use Agent 3000. You can use your own website, meaning if you have a separate website outside of Agent 3000, you can automatically have that customer search for homes. It's not under Neo. It's under new homes. New estate. There you go. New estates only. There you go. Okay. All right. I think I got a couple of questions. Let me go to chat. Avani, how Twilio works with Agent 3000? We need to have the client contact number. Yeah. So what you do is you click on the Twilio button at the very top. Let me go back real quick. Up here, notifications, and then this is where you go in order to register your account. You go right here, set up here, and then again, it's about $2 and change. Per text message. And then Moises, if you input the mortgage broker info, will it? Yes, on the main website. It will on the main website. Okay. All right, let's keep going, guys. Okay, Neo. So you get Neo included as far as the ability for customers to search on your website for free in the South Florida area. I need to make sure I repeat that part. Okay. All right. So once you set up your Neo, again, take your time. You're going to see a list of a menu right here where you see your name. You go to My iFrame. You select your color scheme. And then you grab the code right here. It's this easy. It's not hard. You just select, the hardest part is selecting the color scheme. And then you input your website here, the language, which this is available in English, Espanol, and Portuguese, as we can see. All right, once you generate it, you save it. Again, you get the South Florida area for new construction for your customer to search, again, for free. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you how to build that now. Let me go under websites. Again, it's the same thing as what we just did. It's this easy. You go into the content list. Again, this is where we go to create individual pages. Let me just delete the one that I had real quick. Okay. New. All right. We're going to use, let's go ahead and name it real quick. Search new new construction. Same thing. Search new construction. All right. And then right here, source, you click source, you paste the code. It's that easy. You can incorporate any meta descriptions if you want to get lead capture information for SEO. You have that option. All right. And we're not going to use only menu item, no content. external link. Okay, we're going to use this option though. Let me make sure I correct that. We are going to use only menu item. A menu item means it's just a button. There's no extra subsections. It's just a button by itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on save. All right, I have my search new construction. I'm going to move that up here, right next to the instant home valuation. And then customers, when they go to my website, they can click on the new search new construction. I'm just waiting on it to go. Oh wait, I made a mistake. I forgot he changed this. It's not a menu item or only. I'm sorry, guys. You don't click that. You don't click that. You leave it like that without a check mark. I forgot he changed that. Now it should just do it. Boom. And then that customer can search, as you can see, for new construction. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. All right. Let me go into chat real quick. Oh, you got it, Avani. All right, let's keep going. Again, you can edit any web pages. You can incorporate new web pages. Again, you kind of want to make sure you know HTML code. However, unless you take frameable websites that are pre-built through iframes. Okay, let's keep going. You have you can incorporate if you do want to have a blog section on your website and you like to blog, there's the blog option. You can create new blogs in this menu. But let's slow down. From here on out, we're creating different sections of the website. So let me go home real quick. Okay, we're creating different sections of our website. So sliders is this section of your website right here. Slider. Okay, so let me jump in here real quick. Slider images. Not slider images. I meant to say quick search links. Slider images is for the template for. We always suggest the fifth one. So let's just get past that. Okay. Quick search links though. Let's slow down. Quick search links. What is this? They are right here. I want to show you first where they show up before we build them. We're visual learners, a lot of us. Okay. All right. So again, go here, quick search links. I've created a lot already. Let's delete them though real quick. Let's just delete so I can show you how to build. But first, again, I wanted to show you where they show up. These are going to be the most common searches in the areas that you service or you market. I'm going to show you how to build them. We're going to do at least a couple here. Okay, boom. So again, these are going to be areas where customers can automatically search. So for example, they want to find homestead property, Doral, Cutler Bay, maybe just Miami new construction. They can click and then immediately just find listings based on those property types. Okay, so we're going to start from scratch. All right, we're going to say that this one is new condos in Miami Beach, just as a point of reference. New condos in Miami Beach. All right, I'm not going to touch bedrooms and bathrooms because you never know. You may have a customer that may want an efficiency, a studio. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to touch minimum to maximum price because I want my customer to be able to see as much inventory as possible. Not going to touch the square footage, but I did say new condos. I'm going to go here, put 2024. Plus, leave golf alone, pool alone, foreclosure alone. Let's look at cities. So I'm going to put Miami Beach. Click it. I can be as specific as zip codes if I want. So if I want Brickell, I could just hyper focus on Brickell if I want. Area numbers. If I want to do a larger search filter for just counties, I have counties as well. So we're going to go ahead and select residential, condo. Again, this part's very easy. It's the email part that's the hardest, but this part is very, very easy once you get the hang of it. Okay, we're not going to focus on waterfront properties. I only want active and coming soon, especially if it's new construction and I'm telling it 2024 and plus. We might find a lot of under construction, pre-construction. Okay, so from there, We can include a custom link if we ever want to. What that does is it overrides the setting above and it can go to another website. So if you want to use maybe Neo, right? Maybe you want to use a different website that maybe your brokerage offers, you can put that instead here. Okay, let me click on submit. We've effectively, hold on, should have did it. Oh, I didn't put a link. I thought I did. What happened? It didn't save it? There you go. It just didn't load that it saved it. Okay, there you go. So we added the first one. Again, that shows up one more time. Let's refresh it. Let's go down. Back up a little bit. There you go. Most common searches is right here. New condos in Miami Beach. They click it. They're just going to get new construction from 2024 through now. It'll take them directly to that area, as you can see. All right, let's do one more just so we get a good hang of how to do this. We're going to go ahead and make this one. Let's make this interesting. Let's try to attract some investors. We're going to go ahead and put distressed properties in Miami-Dade. Okay, perfect. Again, I'm not touching minimum, maximum, anything like that. Here's the thing, though. I've not tested this. Foreclosure, yes. Short sale, yes. That should theoretically give me both bank-owned properties and also distressed properties, meaning the homeowner's still in ownership. They're just behind on their mortgage or they got a lease pendants from their association. If you do this in the MLS, you won't get results. But let's find out. I want to see if this will give me bank-owned and also distressed properties. So let's keep it like that. I did say Miami-Dade up here. So let's go ahead and go down to counties, Miami. Just to show that. Click on it. And then if you're not a commercial agent, let's not include commercial distressed. Let's do residential. All right. And I can hyper focus on real estate, avoid docs. Let's go down. Multifamily. Those are underwater. A lot of those are underwater right now. Single family as well and townhouse. Okay. Perfect. Now from there, active coming soon. Submit. Boom. I've created a link for distressed properties for an investor that may want to find deals on my website. I click on it. This is the magic. Oh, I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I'm glad I tested this. I don't think it's going to let us do both. Bear with me a moment. Let me see. Short sale, yes. Okay. What did they put for REO though? It's not pulling it because they didn't fill it in. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad I did this just in case I have any agents that like distressed properties. Let me go out a little bit. Let me make sure I'm not crazy. I think I'm only getting one result. Oh, here we go. Short sale. Yes. Yeah, that's a double negative. Okay. So if you do distressed or you work with investors, guys, don't put both. Create separate. Create two different links. Do one for short sales, distressed short sales. I would update my link to something like distressed short sales in Miami. And then I would do a separate one for foreclosure, yes, and then short sale, I would put no. That way it works. Okay, so let's do foreclosure, no preference. Short sale, yes. Okay, boom. There you go. Okay, now that should, again, I like to teach as a troubleshooter. I wanted to see if it was going to work the other way. Let me go up. Now we should get more than just the one short sale. There you bomb. There you go. Okay. There you go. Okay, let's keep going, guys. I think everyone should have a good feel of how to build those external links based on the different types of real estate that you sell. Okay. Next up is featured listings. Okay. This deals directly with this right here. So as the customer goes to your website, you can automatically feature listings. In this banner, this is featured listing 1, and then this is going to be your featured listing 2 section. So let me go ahead and keep going, guys. We're almost done. We got 23 more minutes. Thank you very much for your patience. Again, featured listings. This is where we can automatically create the name. For example, I have this set up for Cutler Bay and Homestead. If I want to enter a minimum price, I can, maximum price, I can. If I want to maybe instead of featuring an area, if I want to feature maybe my listings or my office's listings, I can enter my listing number here. Or if I want to feature my brokerage's listings on my website, I can input my office ID. If you don't know what your office ID and you have listings, your office ID is located right here where it says listing broker in the MLS. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. And if you have multiple listings, you can have all of your inventory show up by entering your ID. Again, you would leave all of these other things blank. You would just enter your agent ID if you want to disclose your listings, your inventory, or your offices. You would just fill in offices with your office ID. Okay. We're going to pretend that we're doing the Cutler Bay and Homestead. All right. We have residential that we selected here. We selected in specific single family, townhomes, and villa. And then we selected active. I selected the two cities, or if I want to select zip codes, I can, counties or communities. You can do that as well as individual listing area numbers. You do the same thing for the second option. So I featured in this one, Kindle Homes. Again, residential from the pick list, single family homes, townhomes, active. But this one, because it's Kindle, it's the reason why I'm making this more of a visual reference. I entered multiple zip codes. Why? Why? Kindle's not a city. It's not a city. I can't look that up here. It's not going to show up. Actually, it did. They added it. Woo. I stand corrected. Okay, but the other reason why, again, some areas like Brickell, right? Some areas of Kindle, it's not going to give you all of the individual zip codes there. So it looks like he fixed it. He added it. But if you ever want to, again, find most of the areas or specific areas in a city, I find zip codes can work a little bit better. Okay, perfect. So after you're done building it, you click on save. Again, this deals with, one more time, the slider one, and then underneath like a property, which automatically fills in, you have your second slider right here. Okay. Market trends. Let's go ahead and delete real quick. This deals with this part right here on your website. It gives us a general understanding. If a customer goes to your website, average sale prices. You just simply select the cities that you represent. Just go through the list. You have to go through the list. There's not a way to click. You would just click on what you want. All right, let me go back to Cutler Bay real quick, just to grab that one. Almost there. Boom. You select your areas. You click on save. And then again, this is super duper easy. They show up right here. You can even, the customer prospect can even see a graph. And then they're going to be able to see, without you having to generate it, how that area has performed going all the way back since 2023. The blue line is going to be the entire market, as to where the dark line is going to be specifically that area, Cutler Bay, and then the difference in the overall market. All right. Okay. Perfect. So again, that is the market trends. You can add your testimonials on your website as well. You would just click on new testimonial, copy paste it maybe from Zillow, put the name of the customer, and then that's going to show up as a testimonial on your website. Trying to, because I'm not on the homepage. Let me go back. Okay. On the homepage, they should show up those testimonials right here. This is going to be the section as you add testimonials. They're going to show up right here on the website. Okay. Perfect. Now, the next thing is the IDX embedded code. If you have a separate website, for example, if you have a brokerage website, you can take the code here. And if you have a mobile website, you could copy paste it so that prospects can get to your Agent 3000 website. And if you want to put it on a desktop, meaning a desktop version of your website, this is the code to put it on your desktop website that your brokerage offers as well. All right. I'm trying to think. That is all. That's pretty much it. That is it. Again, make sure though, as you create your website, this is the part that stumps a lot of people. I just want to make sure I cover this one more time. When you set up your website, you're going to get stumped right here. Automatically add leads to drip email campaigns. The automatic notification that they get, it's not up here. In order to build that automatic response when they register, remember, it's down here. Automation, and then you create that auto email in the verbiage once they register. Again, guys, thank you so much for your time. Again, this was recorded. We will get a copy of this to you either. Let me see how much.